You're on camera.
Coach Tony left his keys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He left them on the rack. I'm on camera or I'm on voice?
You're on camera.
Oh.
Just so you know.
But then I should have a mask on. Then I should have a mask on. Rich gets upset about that. You know, like,
Hey guys, we're gonna start, so please kind of, if you want to chat and be merry, go outside, but if you want to hang out, listen, this will be fun. Actually,
camera's on.
can they see me here?
Yeah. He said they can see me right here.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
What's that? We're all there. That's awesome. Yep.
Yeah, you can be seen right where you are.
Right here?
Yeah, you're on. Yep, it's right on you.
Hello, everyone. Wow, that's way too loud. Tom, can you hear this? Is this a good volume? Okay. Hey, everyone. Hey, I'm Rich Todd. I'm the president of the Anchorage Ski Club. Welcome, and thank you for attending the 2021 annual membership meeting. It's been a wonderful year. It's been a bit different. Winter ski season has been spectacular. We're still skiing here. We might be skiing all the way through June. Yeah. So we've been super busy. People want to be outside. People have been here all winter. We have a lot more members this year than we ever have. So I'd like to start off tonight with our volunteer awards. I'm doing something a little bit different this year. I truly want to recognize all the folks that make Arctic Valley such a great place. We are family. This is such a great team. Hardworking, skilled people with a giant heart. I made these for our awards tonight. And I'd like to start off with our board of directors. So we've really never recognized our board of directors other than stand up and say hello and wave to these guys. Our board of directors is so critical to this, and we all work really, really hard as volunteers. It's unbelievable how many hours we all put in to make this place run. And I made these for you guys. I want everybody to come up and have one. I'm going to introduce everybody. These are really kind of cool. I found a guy in a driveway, actually, and we were chatting about things. And he's like, hey, I can make you some cutting boards. And yeah, so I sent him my logo. He started making these in September. And it started off with, hey, can you make 15? And he's like, yeah, I can make 15. I was like, well, I know another couple of people. Can you make 20? And that, well, I know another couple of people. Can you make 30? And so it's taken him 7 months to make these 30. Anyway, so hey, let me start off with Marissa, since she's over there counting all of the ballots. She is our first vice president of membership. Big giant round of applause, and thank you so much. And Kevin Keeler, he's our second vice president in charge of operations.
Thanks, bud.
How about that?
That's awesome.
Very cool. I've got another list here. Brian Kirkpatrick, he is not here tonight, but big giant round of applause for Brian. He made that bar right back there that everybody enjoys so much.
We'll drink to that.
Let's see here. Matt Mead. Matt Mead is not here tonight either. He's our spectacular attorney. Love the guy to death. Daniel Jensen, he's here. Spectacular. Thanks, buddy. Let's see here. So Bev Licky Chan, she's not here either. Hi, Bev, if you're watching on the interwebs. John Colton, he's not here either. Mark Heisel, he's already split for the day. He had to get to a birthday party for his kids. Kyle Culver, he's not here as well. Luke is here. There you are, sir.
Wait. That's something for you.
Get your mask on. You're gonna go
Oh,
through that.
God. All right, hold on. I have something for you, though, Rich. So, Rich has always believed in me and gets on board with everything that I like to do. And he probably regrets all those times. Some of them.
True.
But this is the third year of the Arctic Valley ski team, and he has been on board with all my crazy antics when it comes to ski racing. So I have this made for Rich, but it's got to be hung in the lodge.
Wow, look at this. This is spectacular. Hey, thanks, Luke. I absolutely love the colors, and we'll talk about your ski team stuff later, but we couldn't do what we're doing now without you. The kids that are skiing here, having the kids up on the hill racing, it's absolutely spectacular, and it's thanks to that guy right there. All right, and next up is Maeve. Come on up here, Maeve. Double vaccines, it's good. Let's see here. So I already have mine. Adam Smith. He's still out patrolling, right? Adam, are you here?
He's right outside the door.
Okay, I'll get him in a little bit. Let's see here. Nick Bajwa, he's not here either. He was here today with his kids skiing. And Maddie Cullens. Maddie Cullens, where are you? Okay.
Here's Adam.
Adam.
Somebody said my name?
Yeah. Hey.
Maddie's coming.
So, Adam, I'm actually going to give this to Alana, but it's for you too. Alana, you're next up on the big giant list of cutting boards to give away. All right, so hey, Matty Collins, did Ski Patrol Al leave? He said he was going to stick around. Ski Patrol Al, here he is. Look at that. So hey, I really wanted to recognize, and I'm going to keep going with this list, Ski Patrol Al. He was a past president, and he's the one that roped me into all of this 11 years ago. If there's anybody that is truly deserving of an award, it's Alan Heckert. Snowboarder extraordinaire. logo guy. Everything that you do is, or everything I do is because of you. Yeah, just take the whole box. Yeah, take a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next two guys, I'm going to recognize both of these guys together. It's not really all that surprising, but Tom Henry and Tom Amon, both of you guys are spectacular volunteers. You guys are coming on up here together because you kind of like everything that you do is together. It's one. We sit at the same table.
Thank you, Rich.
No, thank you guys. Thank you. You have no idea how much you guys mean to this.
That's awesome.
Okay, next on the list is Greg DeRocher. He's not here, he was skiing. He actually shows up every single weekend and works his 2-hour shift. He does his thing, he skis, and he's been around forever. Absolutely love Greg. He's split for the day. Mike Redmond, he typically is here every single weekend. I bet you he's gonna be here tomorrow on the volunteer list. Dave Todd. He's our music and sound coordinator guy. He's fantastic. He sets up all of this stuff. He helps us coordinate our summer jam and music festivals. You know, he's a fantastic guy. Not only that, but he's a Todd. How about that? So next, I want to recognize our Ski Patrol director, Andy Sullivan. Andy is absolutely 100% volunteer guy, and we can't run the place without you. There you are, sir. No, thank you. So, Bruce, Ski Patrol Bruce, are you here? Did Bruce leave? Okay, I'll get Bruce when he comes in. Ben, Ski Patrol Ben, is he here? Okay, I really love to recognize Ski Patrol because all of these guys are working hard. They're volunteers. They actually work all day long. Sure, they're skiing, but we can't run the place without Ski Patrol. Next, I want to recognize Lee Fisher and Eric Pedersen. These guys were on the board of directors with me for 10 years. Spectacular guys. Neither one of them are here today, but I absolutely need and want to recognize those guys. And the next 4 people that I'm going to recognize, they're not volunteers. They are our employees. But these guys work so hard to make this place what it is. They're out here working at -5 degrees, fixing the lifts, fixing the groomers, doing everything that needs to be done when it's just absolutely atrocious weather. That's when stuff breaks, and that's when these 4 guys fix things. So first off, I want to recognize John Robinson Wilson. He's our general manager. Spectacular, spectacular guy. And Peter Schnurr, he's already left for the day. He comes in a little bit earlier and leaves earlier. John Hickerson, he's out on the mountain closing down the lifts right now. Yep, he just went that way on the snow machine. And Eric Penfold, he's our groomer. He's our full-time groomer. He's the guy that, until things went sideways, he's the guy that made everything smooth. Spectacular. All right, so that wraps up Who's that? Bruce! Get up here, Bruce.
Well, because you're amazing, Bruce.
Because you're amazing, Bruce, please come accept your award for being amazing, Bruce.
Rich, Maddie's back here too.
Maddie Cullens, come on up here. Maddie. Thank you for everything that you do, all the hard work. It's unbelievable. Let's see here. Anybody else that we're missing? So that's going to lead us into, I think Ski Patrol Andy has some announcements and awards that he'd like to do. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
I don't know if that was a cheers or
So, first thing I want to mention is that so far this year we've had 326 duty days. That's, you take the patrollers and days and so on and so forth. And because of Thursdays and Fridays, we have an extra 40 days for a total of 366 duty days.
Wow.
I have 4 patrollers who are getting pins tonight. 3 of them are not here, but I'll mention them. Marta Kummel has 10 years. Ben, who's not here, has 15 years. And Barry Bruno has 20 years. There are only 3 of us on this patrol that have more than Barry Bruno. So, is Adam Smith available? Adam? Adam Smith is earning his 5-year pin.
5 years?
Yep. Yep. That's all I have.
That's it?
Yep.
Hey, Rich. John is here.
Cool. John Hickerson. John Hickerson, come on up. There you are, sir. Thank you for all of your hard work, for doing everything that you do, for crawling under the groomers when it's -5 degrees. The 4 of these guys really, truly keep this place together. It's unbelievable. Okay, so that wraps up volunteer awards. We're going to actually go ahead and start the 2021 annual meeting now. Welcome again, welcome back if you're just joining us. Tonight we'll update you on how the club is doing with reports by our executive officers and our general manager, John Robinson Wilson. We'll also give you the results of the election held tonight to appoint our open board seats, or open seats up for the board of directors. So with the meeting officially called to order at, what time is it? 18:19. I give you over to Marissa for the membership report.
Woo-hoo, Marissa!
Woohoo!
Hey everyone, I'm Marissa Riopel, and I'm the VP of Membership. First, I want to thank you all for being active members by submitting proxies and attending the meeting today. We have 5 candidates who are seeking re-election onto the board of directors, and Rich just introduced them all, but I'm going to give a quick little intro. So Brian Kirkpatrick, he's the current secretary of the board of directors. And he's a telemark skier, and his claim to fame is that he built the beautiful bar here at the Alpenglow Pub, which we all enjoy, so thank you, Brian. Next, we have Maddie, who's here tonight. Maddie, give a wave if you can hear me. Maddie's a current board member, and you may recognize him from the top of Tier 2, where he volunteers as a lifty or shredding past you on the hill on his snowboard. We have Matt Mead. He's the board's correspondence secretary. He's an attorney here in Anchorage and led the club's efforts in securing the concession contract with the state of Alaska. We have Mark Heisel. He's a current board member, and professionally he's a PE elementary school teacher for the Anchorage School District. And you may recognize him from on the mountain with his red jacket as he volunteers for the Denali Ski Patrol. And then lastly, we have Adam Smith, last but not least. He's a current board member, one of the club's handymen, and he led the Chair 2 public use cabin project. He also volunteers on the Denali Ski Patrol and is the club's volunteer coordinator. So thank you to all the candidates and to the members who participated in the election process. Next, I'm going to pass it on to Daniel for the treasurer's report. Daniel?
Hey everyone, I'm Daniel Jensen. I'm the treasurer of the Anchorage Ski Club. Here to give you the treasurer's report for our annual meeting. For those of you guys that don't know, we operate with the fiscal year of June 1st to May 30th to match most of our winter operations. We had a clean cutoff between the summer and winter operations. The numbers that I'm going to present to you here are our actual results from June 2020 through February 21, plus our budget numbers for March through May 2020. This is how we're forecasted to end the year of May 31st, 2021. Our net income is looking to be $261,000. Of that $261,000, we had $988,000 of revenue and $727,000 of expenses. Our $988,000 of revenue consisted of $222,000 of ski area ticket sales, $211,000 of two-park ticket sales, $76,000 from membership fees, $39,000 from the race team registrations, $59,000 from user fee income, which is mostly day user fees from the trailhead, $57,000 from food and drink income, $27,000 from lodge rental, $12,000 from other income, and $286,000 from fundraising and contributions. As I mentioned, our expenses are $727,000. That's up $117,000 from the prior year, primarily from increased payroll as we've started midweek operations this year. It has been new compared to prior. Included in that net income number is depreciation, which is considered non-cash expense. If you back that out of the net income number, our cash flow for the year is approximately $313,000. As a nonprofit, we reinvest our cash flow into our capital projects. The capital projects that we've undertaken in this fiscal year, we've committed to $142,000 for a new snowcat, of which we paid $20,000 for a down payment and financed the rest over 2 years. Spent $25,000, we have not, but we will, spend $25,000 for Chair 2 safety bars, $20,000 for a ski patrol HVAC system, $16,000 for fire pits, $15,000 for lodge doors, $11,000 for the Chair 2 public use cabin in this fiscal year, in addition to $6,000 we spent last year for $17,000 total for the Chair 2 public use cabin, which does not include a significant amount of volunteer time that was donated to the project.
Go Adam.
Additionally, we had $9,000 dedicated for e-parking machine, and then we had an additional $17,000 for smaller projects such as two-park lighting, race timing key, a plasma cutter, septic repairs, new snowblower, kitchen printer, ops radios, and ski team radios. Looking forward kind of into the future, again, we're trying to reinvest a lot of our net income back into the club through our capital projects. We're considering an additional snowcat in addition to the one that I just mentioned. One or multiple more public use cabins, lodge cafe renovations, and we're looking at the biggest capital project that we kind of have on the radar right now is possibly a new T-bar for $1.5 million, of which we've set a kind of fundraising target of $750,000, and then we would finance the remaining piece. All of that will ultimately kind of roll into and be decided through our master plan, which, depending on the scale and size of it, may or not be considered a capital project, but will kind of determine the future course of those capital. So with that, the treasurer report. I don't know who's after me.
Hey, thank you, Dave.
So.
Operations.
So I'm John Robinson Wilson. I'm the general manager. I'm going to talk just about kind of general operations, and I think Kevin, who's the director of operations, has a little bit more about kind of what he's been working on longer term projects. So looking back on this last year, like a lot of places, this year was a story of increased individual visitation for us and almost complete cancellation of all group events. So last summer, we saw a huge increase in like hikers and berry pickers versus previous years. But it was, and we brought in a bunch more money for parking revenue from that, but that was unfortunately more than offset by the cancellation or postponement of almost all of the weddings that we had booked for last year. We pivoted our wedding offerings and started offering outside ceremony-only events and that complied with the Muni's COVID restrictions. We were able to salvage several weddings that folks had booked with us, and we booked several more for people who had their original plans elsewhere disrupted. So, although we didn't make a lot of money with these revised arrangements, we were happy just to be able to offer a place for those folks to get married and have a ceremony of some sort. During the hiking and berry picking season, our parking lots were close to full, even on a lot of weekdays. We sold tons of the basic memberships, which are basically just the annual parking passes, and welcomed lots of new users up here at Arctic Valley. Our large parking areas, at least for summer scale, proved to be a big asset as all the other trailheads, in Anchorage and Eagle River were pretty much overrun every day. And we were able to offer a lift-assisted hiking and berry picking day, which was really successful. And we're planning on running 3 or 4 more of those for this coming summer. The winter has seen much better than usual season pass and day ticket sales. We're happy to be open the second weekend in December, which is as early as I can remember opening in my 10 or so years here. And we've generally enjoyed strong sales numbers most of the winter. This past week, except it. So with the surge of snow and cold temperatures in March and April, we're set up for staying open for an unprecedentedly long season. We're already for sure open through April 18th. My personal goal will be to be operating in some fashion through that first weekend in May, because Alyeska's closed that weekend, so it'll be cool.
Opening early, closing late.
Yeah. So this season, we also added the Thursday, Friday afternoon and evening options starting in March when daylight allowed. This has actually been more successful than we had hoped and points to a great future opportunity for midweek evening skiing when we have a new T-bar and lights to go along with it. So we haven't, like I said, we haven't yet set a closing date. We'll be evaluating our skier numbers and employee and ski patrol availability over the next couple of weeks. And we'll likely curtail our operations some before we close altogether. With the exception of losing our winch cat in the first week of March, overall we've had a very successful season. It's been a personal tragedy. I feel terrible about the state of the hill out there since we can't actually groom it, but it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it at this point. Very happy to report that I signed the contract just a couple of days ago for a new winch cat that'll be shipped up here sometime this summer and will serve us very well for many, many years to come. Our tubing operation this year was also just hugely successful. We operated this year Thursday through Sunday, and we've sold out basically every session every day that we've been open. The additional flexibility in the public's school and work schedules has certainly helped with that. We also have opened earlier than ever before. This is the first year we actually hit our target opening date of the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And we're operating later than ever before as well through next Sunday. So a week from tomorrow will be the end of the tubing season. We're just starting to plan for next season, and we'll be trying to balance the benefits of some of the COVID-inspired changes that we've made. Things like running upstairs more as a restaurant than open seating, having the ticket windows out front, having the fire pits. We'll be looking to balance some of that kind of stuff versus what's hopefully a more kind of return to normal, and take the best parts of what we've done this winter, the things that have worked the best, and hopefully incorporate them to moving forward. Yeah.
I'm Kevin Keeler, and Rich twisted my arm to become Vice President of Operations about 3 months ago. Thanks, Rich.
Anything I can do to help?
Yeah, right.
So Alan Heckert's responsible for this, which is responsible for you, so we can all blame it on Alan.
Okay. But one of the things I want to point out right now, when I came on as Operations VP, is there's a lot going on up here. And when I think of the work and see the work that John's doing, I really want to recognize the hard work he's doing. I'm reminded of one of those, one of those jugglers who has like all kinds of plates that are on top of bamboo poles. And this is how this place operates. There's a lot of plates moving all at the same time, and John does it very gracefully and seems to keep things moving. And the reason I really don't have a lot to report or talk about or issues is because of John's focus on things up here that need to happen and looking over the horizon. So it's been great, and I really want to just recognize John for your hard work. So speaking over the horizon, one of the things that I've focused on, because I've got planning in my background, is looking over the horizon to our expansion needs. A new cat barn, the T-bar itself, public use cabins, this sort of thing. We're trying to tide out things like where the military boundary is, and so we've been doing flagging on that. Investigating use agreements with the military so we could potentially get access across their lands to our lands down there. And spending some time down there in the alders, which is where all of our snow is now. And this area over here actually has great potential. I almost call it a Machu Picchu of Alaskan ski areas here. It's just totally grown over. And if you look at that cut line over there, that's the Marston Trail, we pretty much own everything that's uphill of that and a little bit from the right of it over. So we have great opportunity over there. And with our master planning process, and is somebody going to talk about the strategic plan and the master plan?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to be considering these opportunities because we have great opportunities over there. We just need to tweak the access a little bit. That's going to help provide us for things that we've wanted to for a long time. Get our cats off of blocks of wood and get them into some barns and that sort of thing, and aim for some increased capital projects that have been alluded to here, like the replacement of the T-bar. So I really appreciate everybody's contribution, and I encourage you to pick out things that you like to do too, and see if there's a way that you can do it up here, because we can always use more help. So thanks much.
I'm going to take this off this time. Hey everyone, so we had a really strong year for membership. We currently have 1,007 members. That's voting and non-voting. And this is the first year we've broken 1,000, so it's a really big milestone for the club and very exciting. This is a 148% increase from last year's membership. So as a growing club, we want to thank you all for your continued support. Our community is awesome, and it sets us apart from any other mountain in the Anchorage area and anywhere in the world. So, lastly, I'd like to recognize all our life members. I know some of you might be watching remotely, but if you're in the room, please stand if you're a life member. We really thank you for your commitment, your lifetime commitment to the club. It's awesome. And that's all I really had for the membership report. Thank you guys for attending today.
Fantastic. Hey, thanks, Marissa. So the next part of this meeting is going to be new business. New for this year, we've kind of talked about it a little bit at the meeting last year, but we did actually sign our concession agreement, so we have long-term viability. Part of that concession agreement was to come up with a strategic plan. And most of you have seen this online. We do have some printed copies. We did get official word from State Parks just on Friday that they have signed off on this. The strategic plan is actually approved and signed off by State Parks. So with that, I'd like to bring up Maeve Nevins-Lavtar. She's instrumental in the planning of this and the strategic plan and the master plan. And yeah, I'll let you go.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to start out by acknowledging that we are on historical Dena'ina land. The Dena'ina people are indigenous Native Alaskans who historically were the caretakers of the land from a cultural aspect, from an environmental aspect, and they are currently caretakers of the land, and they will continue to be the stewards of this land. So with that, I'd like to acknowledge that Arctic Valley, part of our strategic plan, we did a land acknowledgement within our strategic plan, and we really want to thank all of our Alaska Native community and continue to foster that gratitude throughout our placemaking that you're going to see moving forward in our master planning efforts. We're going to see more stories being shared, historical stories, more native or indigenous placemaking names, such as what is the name of the mountains that we're on in local indigenous names. So we're really looking forward to that, and we welcome anyone who has input on that and who wants to be a part of that as we move forward through this cultural renaissance, I'm going to call it. So with that, we spent about, I would say, several hundred hours collectively as a board this summer. All of you should have received our survey that we sent out this summer during COVID, and it was a real challenge to work. And I want to say also thank you to every one of the members and everyone who participated from our board in the development of the strategic plan. It was a hard task and a huge one to undertake during COVID because we couldn't really meet together. So we were meeting a couple times a month and then ultimately a couple times a week to try to get this document done. What this document does is outline 5 key goals going forward into the future here. The first goal of which is the master plan. And it's a little bit backwards to develop a strategic plan without a master plan, but we chose to do that, 1, because our concessions agreement required it, and 2, because a master plan requires such more laborious and intensive planning and design efforts. And so we felt like we could tackle the strategic plan with this short-term vision, and then over the next year, we're going to be diving into our first goal. So I encourage you all, this document is online and it is printed out throughout. There's copies throughout the building, but if you haven't had a chance to look at it, read it closely. It does double as a little bit of a welcoming. We wanted to reintroduce ourselves, who Arctic Valley is and what we believe in. We did actually make one of the biggest statements that has been made in the outdoor industry in a welcoming sense, and I'm going to just jump to that. And we talked about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And during this year, We're all familiar with the Black Lives Matter issues and things like that, but many of us in Anchorage realize that we drive through some of the most diverse neighborhoods in all of America. And in fact, in the Mountain View neighborhood, they speak over 100 different languages. So it's really important that as an outdoor recreation community nonprofit, that we acknowledge that. And so there is actually an entire section on diversity, equity, inclusion. And while it is simple in our wording, we chose to simplify and distill down to the essence of what we believe in as a group. We started with pages and pages on this and sifting it down to what really mattered to us. And so again, I want to thank everyone and encourage you all to read this. And then if something in here strikes a chord amongst you, please reach out to us. We are seeking people to help us with the master plan. And of course, all the other goals that we have in here. So please contact Rich. He's your point of contact always. And we welcome all of you to continue the love and passion for our community nonprofit. Thank you.
Thanks, Maeve. Thanks, everybody. Like Maeve was just saying, you can always reach out to me. It's hard to answer questions right here and in this setting, but email me at richtodd@skiarctic.com. Again, richtodd@skiarctic.com. I'll do my best to answer your questions or simply get you to the right person that can answer questions. We do want to have a large public input for this master planning process. I think it's going to be super fun. We should plan and design exactly what it is that we want to see over the next 20, 40, 60 years. 60 years. What is this place going to look like in 60 years? And I bet you Adam Smith will probably still be around.
Out the window.
Yeah. So with that, let's see here. What's next? Luke Clement, he would like to come up. Oh, no. Sorry. Marissa, she's going to come up and give election results. And then we'll get to some new business with Luke and ski team stuff.
Quicker than a municipality.
Hello again. So the votes are tallied. There were a total of 146 proxies submitted. That was out of 886 voting members, so that's a 16% voting, and so that's over our 10% quorum, so thanks to everyone who voted again. There were 142 votes for Brian Kirkpatrick, 141 for Maddie Cullens, 141 for Mark Heisel, 141 for Matt Mead, and 142 for Adam Smith. There was also one vote for Carol Stratton and one for Sam Kelly. So with that, congratulations to Brian, Maddie, Mark, Matt, and Adam. I look forward to working with you all again. So thanks to all who voted, and I'm going to draw a name right now for the winner of the 2021 through 2022 season pass. Can somebody come up? Rich, maybe can you come draw a name? And this is new this year, but hopefully it'll encourage more people to vote. All right. We have Grant Crosby. Congratulations to Grant, and that's all I have, so. I think it's Luke's turn now.
Grant Crosby, if you're watching, you want a season pass for next year. So come on up here, Luke, if you'd like to chat about ski team stuff.
Back in 2016, I was sitting in a hotel room in Hong Kong, and I'm going to start this way. And I was talking with Sparky, the head coach of UAA. So what do we got to do to make Art Valley a ski racing venue? He's like, well, we need grooming. And I happened to find a winch cat sitting in Minnesota. I'm like, what am I going to do with a winch cat in Minnesota? So I contacted John, I contacted Colton, and a few other people. I said, well, if you guys don't buy this thing and groom this hill out, I'm going to buy it and lease it to you. They bought the cat. Next thing you know, I'm on the board, and it's kind of been crazy since then. The last official United States ski snowboard race to be held here at Arctic Valley was in 1998. It was the Matt May Classic. This year, 2021, we had the Arctic Valley Cup, which was a 23 years since we'd had an official sanctioned U.S. ski snowboard race here. And it took us since 2016 to 2021 to make that happen. We have the groomer out there, the hill's been prepped, people have been loving it, we've had tons of people up here skiing, and it's just been really amazing. There's tons of kids out here every day, and I can't thank everybody enough for making this happen. Rich has believed in me, and he's been going on my crazy antics. I came into the board meeting about 6 years ago, and I said, if you build it, they will come. It comes from a great Kevin Costner movie. But truly, that's what it takes. If you build a venue, they will come. And we've had this hill groomed out up until the night before. Our first U.S. ski snowboard race in 23 years, the groomer finally died. And but it made it all the way to that point. It's really kind of ironic. And so we started up a ski team up here again. And John Robinson Wilson, our general manager, he was one of our ski racers back in the day. I called up a couple of the old coaches that have actually coached Olympians that came out of here when they were little kids back in the early 80s and 90s to come back and coach for us. And it's been really amazing. So we had 30 kids the first year. That was 3 years ago. This last year, we've had 60 kids, which if you look at this picture of the 2021 Arctic Valley ski team, I'd say it's a pretty good success. And I guarantee you next year we're going to have more. And I couldn't do it without the help of everybody here at the Hill. Yes?
You know that there's one downstairs with John.
Oh, I know. There's a picture downstairs. I keep hanging it up on the wall, and he takes it down and hides it. He does. I've hung it up 3 times, and then I find it back in the office, and I know he takes it down.
It's going to go a lot further than the office.
Have you seen his office? You don't want to see his office. It's pretty bad. But I really couldn't do this without the support of the Hill, without the support of the rest of the board. We've got some great people on the board now that have got ski racing backgrounds, and I think that helps a lot. And just seeing the kids up here, that's the next generation of Arctic Valley. And I grew up skiing as a little kid up here. I raced here a few times. I actually snowboard raced here. I'm not going to really admit that to everybody, but I snowboard raced for a little while. But I did. And then left state and then came back. But it's what really carries this place on. I mean, my dad grew up skiing here. My grandma skied here and everything else. So, but it takes everybody to do it. And I need to make a shout out to our sponsors, Dr. Gray and Dr. McNamara at Alaska Hand, Elbow, and Shoulder. And I just was dropping off a picture to them the other day and found out that Mac actually coached ski racing up here in the 80s. I had no idea. The Stasny family, Aaron and Julie, and then their dad Lloyd, they've got a couple of businesses in Anchorage, and they've given us a bunch of money to host some ski racing. It's been pretty amazing. Aurora Military Housing is our premier ski team sponsor this year. Ski AK, Alaska Glacier Products, that really good water that you get out of Klutna, and that's actually, I think, a Denina company as well. Yeah, so they've been helping us out. Dr. Eric Olson, Sudsy Santa Car Wash, Latus Pediatrics, they've come back 3 years now to be our 2-park sponsor, but indirectly through the ski team, and Big Dipper Clothing. And there's a whole lot of other people that have really done a lot to really make the Arctic Valley ski team happen. One of our athletes is probably getting off the plane right about now from Western Regions, which is nationals. And we had another one go to tri-divisionals. So we, out of 60 kids, and our elite team is only about 15. We got 2 of the 15 going to national competitions. We're on the up and up, and people realize we're starting going out here. So I'm looking forward to next year and having more kids and more people involved, and I can't thank you guys enough, and thanks for being a part of the Art Valley Ski Team.
Okay, thank you so much, Luke. Thank everybody that's here. Thank everybody that's watching. This has really been an amazing year. I can't express just the love that I have for this place and how much it's changed over the last 10, 11 years. We've really come a long way. 11 years ago, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, we were running completely 100% with volunteers. Now we have a bank account and we actually have lots of employees. It's been amazing, this journey that we've seen over the last 10 years. Now we have, another 20, 40, 60 to go, and I'm super, super excited about the future. Again, a big giant thanks to all of our board of directors. And since Bruce is in the room, I'm going to go with past presidents also. It's unbelievable how much you guys mean to this place and how somehow, some way we're getting it all done. So with that, thank you everybody. And yeah, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. And what time is it? 6:52. We are officially adjourned. 1852. Is that right? Thank you. Good night.